All right, hello, spoilers. Hello, we're back with doing something that I haven't done in a really long time, and that's to check up on the status of Brave Frontier Recoded, because there were times to where I missed some months and I never went to go check it. But today I got the notification, and quite frankly, I don't know what I'm uploading. I don't know what I'm gonna upload. So I was like, you know what? Let's do this. I finally have configured my thing to where I can have audio from the video playing and have me talk at the same time. So let's do this. I just hope this isn't too loud, because then I can't re-record this. All right.
Hello, everyone. Neely here for a very exciting update. I'm very excited to welcome on our lead coder, Blue Arc, for this month's quarterly update video.
Hello everyone, I'm Blue Arc. I'm one of the lead devs for Recoded.
So it's been a while since we've last given you guys an update regarding Brave Frontier, more specifically regarding the gameplay of Brave Frontier. And Blue has cooked up
Is that my computer that's like make the thing like blank out like that, or is it the video?
a lot of stuff for you guys, and we got a lot of questions and a lot to go over. First off, with our first video, we have the font comparison.
Yeah, so with this video, on the left is what you see with the last time you've seen any gameplay for the video. On the right side is with all the new stuff. Some changes you'll notice is that a lot of the UI.
Oh, they have turn. Oh, the UI is more cleaner and stuff. Uh, Interesting. Okay.
All the fonts and the enemy name, the unit name, the empty text name have all been updated along with the HP bar. There's now a turn counter, and the numbers of HP bar has also been updated to more closely match what the game has shown, which is showing big numbers without a percentage. And what you're now seeing on the left, there was the playing damage numbers. On the right, there are some updated UI for the damage numbers and the healing numbers. The damage numbers were updated to show things like elemental weaknesses, elemental types, and in some cases also show you whether the hit has a critical hit or a spark. If it's a white outline, that indicates that it's a stronger elemental. Like you'll notice here with Vargas, have a nice big number, whereas Sparky hitting the Moxie has a more faded yellow number because electric or thunder is not as strong against Earth in the elemental weakness system, whereas Vargas being fire element is stronger against Earth and Earth units.
So we've got now the turn counter, we've got updated UI for displays, and we have
I will say though, you guys remember the times where Brave Frontier didn't have turn counters, and if you were doing a trial, you had to basically remember what turn it was. You guys remember that, especially during like the beginning part of it, to where like trials were just introduced, and like I think it was Maxwell, to where on a certain turn Maxwell would use endless and it would kill you, but you had to remember like what turn it was when like Maxwell got there. Because if I remember correctly, it was like Maxwell will use endless like on turn 7, I believe, starting from the minute you started the trial. So you had to clear through like 2 different units before Maxwell showed up, and if it was like on turn 7 or something, then Maxwell will use endless. So I'm glad that Brave Frontier implemented that, and I'm glad that Recoded also has that implemented, so that way whenever if they do introduce trials, which I imagine they will, you'll know what turn it is and all that other good stuff.
elemental number variable. In just the first video, we already have 3 massive changes that not only just bring it way closer to home, but just make us that much closer to our goal of being able to deliver something great for you all.
Actually, one thing I do want to comment on, the damage numbers are actually something that are different from the base game. In the base game, when you have like a stronger or weaker elemental damage, the number just gets bigger or smaller. In my case, I wanted to try to convey more information for the brief time that the damage number appears. So notice here on the right, with it being red, it's going to be fire damage from one of your fire units, with it being more of a bolded design, with it being indicated white and bigger than your regular damage number. It's
That's
a
pretty cool. I wish Brave Frontier
stronger
would have
attack,
had that
whereas
normally.
a smaller, a little more subtle number indicates that it's a weaker attack and didn't do as much as it could have, like with what Sparky did there to the King Moxie.
I noticed too that they have a little bit more of a shaking effect as well. Gives
The
even
shaking
more
effect was
effect of that
kind
too.
of there, I think, in the base game, and I've also carried it over here because I think it also gives the same. You did.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the shaking effect was in the original game. I think it was, but it could not have been. But it's a good quality of life thing to have in there.
More damage by using the elemental system.
Absolutely, for sure.
And you can see there with the critical, there's an exclamation point. Indicates that this hit is a critical hit. So it did a little bit
Oh, I
more
didn't even
damage.
notice that. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
For our next video, going to be looking at the updated Sam animation for attacks, predominantly like Gazia, our lovely little gem that was having issues.
Yes. So for some context, technical context, Gazia is a unit written in a SAM animation, which I think stands for Super Animation format, and it's different from how a lot of the other units in Brave Frontier, written by I think it's Alan, or like the original creators in GP, were written, which is using a series of sprite feeds and DSP files. SAM animations are special. Well, at least for what we're doing here in Recoded, that we rendered a bit differently. The first time we rendered them wasn't really great, but with this update here, we've gone ahead and improved the animation for Gazia and other units who use SAM animation to be more accurate to the base. Notice that there is less flickering, the unit looks a lot more high quality. Notice that with the attack, there's not any weird like flipping of part of his sprite during the attack animation. Overall, just a huge quality improvement, and it makes it more accurate to the base game.
Yeah, the colors and the detailing, the overall visual clarity is absolutely noticeable. And then of course the flickering is, once you see that, you can't really unsee it. And then
Okay, I like I said, I've missed a few of these updates, so I don't know if that was obviously if they brought it up, then they've mentioned it before, but it is just so. I always say this in every video, but it is just every time I do one of these, it is just so interesting to see how there is a whole group that is literally rebuilding Brave Frontier from top to bottom, basically. Like, they're using the stuff that we already had access to, but they're adding newer things to it to make it more, I guess, not modern, but like improve on some stuff. That's just so interesting. Like, just seeing that whole thing with Gazia. I didn't even know that was a thing with like how they did sprites and stuff. But that's just so interesting to see. Holy shit, man. Holy shit.
continuing down the animations, taking a peek down our bosses for the
Yeah,
warning.
this one is also another result of improving how we render SAM animations in Recoded. On the left side is the old implementation. You'll notice that it's not aligned very well.
Just a little
like
bit off.
the black background is like centered in some weird way. The text looks mostly okay, but the little like triangle is kind
Oh, I
of
get it. Okay.
misaligned.
Yeah,
Whereas on the right,
this
everything
there.
looks centered and it basically matches what you have in the original game. I'm happy too that just make the animations more accurate, make it a more fit the recreation of the original Brave Frontier game.
That's ultimately the goal at the end, to stay as faithful as possible. And I think we're definitely right on track for delivering on that.
Yeah, stay as faithful as possible, but also considering more quality of life improvements where applicable. I want to be careful with not deviating too much from the base game, but still offering overall improvements.
Next, we have our flight controller comparison. More of something behind the scenes, but something cool to show everybody for what we have to work with.
Yes, what you're seeing here is some of the dev tooling that we have
Damn.
for
Hold on.
testing
Wait a
our
minute. Hold on.
animation. So on the left is the old way we did animations, and right is the
Bro,
new way. And what we're
the
doing here is
Vargas on the right
showcasing
looks so
the
much more
difference
cleaner.
in quality, the difference in size, the difference in accuracy in these animations, and how they are more faithful to the original game styling on here.
And then we have the return of death animation and the revive animation, which is very exciting.
The death animation, that was actually custom. Outside of some of the fan animations for some of the global units, I did not find a quote-unquote native death animation that's used for all of the other units, so I ended up handcrafting one on here
Wow.
that uses a series of some of the original summon animations, along with using a little fade-in effect. It might be a bit hard to see here, but the effect here is that when you summon a unit, it'll display the little white glow, and then it'll make the unit appear initially as a full-on black shadow, and then fade into full color.
That is really cool. Wow.
That's actually pretty
That's
sick.
sick.
Like you're summoning a unit from
Yeah.
the beyond, but you don't know who it is yet. Then they
That's
come into
that's actually
hoping
really
that
sick
the
that they
summon
did that.
complete.
Holy.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing quality of life change.
The kill animation is the only one that's native to some of the units, like for example Gaudia being a SAM animation for a global unit, that one has a native skill animation, whereas for most of the other units that are PSP based, like the starter units, lines and whatnot, I have to handcraft my own skill animation, which is just taking the unit and making it slowly fade away.
I think you absolutely nailed it. Looks like absolutely identical too. Because again, too, like you said, they are just being summoned from beyond. So, and especially in battle, that's going to make it look even more engaging. I feel personally.
Yeah, and one thing that I kind of skimmed over here, there are 3 buttons at the bottom of this demo page on the right. We talked about the kill animation, the revive summon animation, and then there's a
We have
victory
one more.
animation. This is
Victory
a
animation.
precursor to some of the work done by the art team. And I think we saw a bit earlier in this recording where we saw Selena do a little victory
Yo,
animation that was done by.
yo, there are actually victory animations. That's something that I wish Brave Frontier would have implemented. I imagine if it was still around in 2025, they probably definitely would have. They probably would have had to put the game on like maintenance for a little bit and just like implement it for some of the characters, and then eventually, if it was still around, eventually make it for everybody. But dude, could you imagine if Brave Frontier had their own victory animations? That would have been sick.
Someone on the art team worked with them to get the animation in a way that was compatible with what Brave Frontier Recoded expect. And if it's configured the right way, units will have a little victory animation when the battle completes. We'll notice here on the left, there's only attacking and moving. That was all that's there. On the right, we're going to see demos for attacking, flipping. Yeah, we can flip units
You know,
because when
I
it's a
think
player
they
unit, they face the
used.
left. When it's an enemy unit, they face the right.
Selena
It's
wasn't
after any
a Brave
position.
Exodus, right? I feel
There's
like
the
they just
custom
used
kill
that
animation there,
kind of
and
went
then
from like
there's a
that
revive,
and
and then there's a little
did that
victory animation
victory
from the art
animation
team.
for her. I
Could
could
be
be
from
wrong though.
artist Nubty. I don't know.
And things go well, we
Wow.
can pull in more of those animations I think we've seen on some of the other social media into the game.
I believe so far our goal is to have around 200 or so ready for when we go to our initial like alpha pre-alpha state, and I think right now we're almost at 50 or 60. Definitely great work all around. All right, and then for our next video,
Uh
some
oh.
battle animations.
So this recording is showing off some work in progress stuff for being able
Hold
to
on.
recreate the original
Hold on. Should I open? Hold on. Let me turn my lamp on. So okay. There we go. Okay. All right.
battle effects
I'm gonna
with
put
a
like
lot
an
of the
epilepsy
animations.
warning in here
So
or
by
something.
default, there are no effects. You'll see the beginnings here for Bernie, the basic attack animation. For the Brave Burst, you can fire, and this recording will progressively get more and more flashy as we get to higher rarity units. Here is Vargas, small attack, does some regular hits on there. This Brave Burst has some fire on it.
Oh, that's not that bad. That's
Up
not
next,
that bad.
we'll
I thought it was
have
gonna be like.
Omni Vargas.
Oh,
This one is
okay.
a lot more
Okay.
softer.
Never mind.
Keep in mind, this is still a
Never
work in
mind.
progress,
Okay.
and some of the
All right.
units
I take what I
have
said.
some animations that
Damn.
are a bit hard to show off, or at least
All right,
make it
boy,
very
am I
hard to
gonna
see
turn my
anything on the
lamp on? I
screen
would have
as they
might
become
have had a
very,
seizure or
very
something.
bright and
Jeez.
block your whole screen.
But that is really cool that they're doing that. I will say it's really cool that they're doing that, man.
Up next, I believe this one is Maxwell. Yeah, here we go. Here's Maxwell. So you got your normal attack, which is very flashy circle thing. Use your Brave Burst. And then very iconic Super Brave Burst. You get the full endless animation on here.
Yeah. I just.
And this is carrying over.
I literally just mentioned this earlier about Maxwell. Yeah. Every turn 7, I believe, you would get hit by that when you did Maxwell's trial. Good times. Good times.
For a lot of the improved animations that we saw in the previous recording, where Selena's animations are a lot brighter than what they were in the previous game updates. Looking through the animations on here, that's the Ultimate Brave Burst. Very hard to see because all the effects that we need to continue tweaking on, but everything is slowly coming together. All the effects and sounds are synced to the best of our abilities, so that means that when you start doing your normal attack, Brave Burst, Super Brave, all the other bursts, they're going to be in sync.
Viva! I miss Viva so much, you guys. You have no idea. Okay, let me tell you guys a little story. Okay, so when Viva, Kira, and everybody else released in Brave Frontier, the global version wasn't caught up with the JP version, so they came out first on JP. And I don't remember how I saw this because I was not on Reddit at the time when this happened, but I was somewhere, and I saw that, or no, maybe I don't remember where I was at. I think I know, but I don't know. And then I saw that the new units were releasing, and I think this was like the first 7-star units outside of the heroes. And when I saw FIFA, I was like, dude, FIFA looks sick. She looks sick as hell, man. And so I downloaded the JP version, and I believe it was if you did 10 summons or something, you got like a free unit or something. And I feel like I did a bunch of summons, and I got Kira. Dude, there's some other guy, Cannon or something. But I didn't end up getting FIFA until like a very long time. And when I did, I remember I was because this is before we had a bunch of Omnis and 7 stars in the game. So and they introduced the new totems into the thing. So like you were using 6 stars and 5 stars to beat the totems. If you had a 7 star friend, you were normally fine, but if you didn't, it was rough. But yeah, I miss FIFA. That was it.
What they were on the original game.
Getting really close down to the home stretch now. So,
That's a stupid story to
what
tell.
if we combine all that into one gameplay video? I think that'd be pretty cool to see, right?
I think that'd be really cool to see.
So, this will officially be the gameplay for update 24. Extremely thankful for Blue Arc for all their time and effort and dedication put into supporting the Recoded project and helping it make it a reality. Could not be more thankful. Massive round of applause for you, Blue, around the world from everybody. Thank you so much for all that you do for us.
Thank you, Blue Arc. Thank you.
It's been a long time counterpart to my career, honestly. I think it's in my bio about how much it's actually affected where I am today, like professionally, and with me being able to lead this recreation of reference here in this way is continuing to grow my.
Dude, I'm so excited for this to like officially come out.
Works.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, you guys.
And
When
you
this
all
comes
should
out, I might
absolutely
actually
check
make
that out,
videos
down
on this.
below in the
I'm not gonna
description.
lie.
We'll have Blue Arc's page on the
I'm
Recoded
gonna be
website
so
that
honest
you all
with
can
you.
go view and read for yourself, learn more about them. And without further ado, update 24.
All right, let's see this gameplay footage. Hold on, real quick. How many of you guys remember when I feel like I say this in every video? How many of you guys remember when this was the title screen? Okay, we had no idea who this was. And we had no idea who this was. Not realizing that this is like the final boss. This is the guy who single-handedly killed the heroes, except Selena, because she like killed herself because words were said or something. Which is not funny, by the way. It's just funny the way they explained it in her bio, and we didn't know who this was. God, man. Honestly, let me know in the comments below, what was your favorite title screen? Because I'm not gonna lie, due to just the iconicness of this one, I might just have to say this one. Because, man. Hey, wait a minute. Oh, they don't have one of see the cook Vargas. I mean, obviously. Dude, just hearing these sound effects is making me feel so nostalgic. God, Recoded was such a great game. It's such a good game. Why did Burmy walk out like that? Alright, ooh, are we gonna see we'll have the victory in it? I was about to say, bro, Gazia's not here, but no, there he is. So is it just Gazia and Ultra? Another thing, remember when people didn't know what Ultra's gender was, and people were like, "Dude, Ultra's like a girl," and it was because the reason why people thought that was because in one of Ultra's thingies, it said that like it used she instead of he, so people were like, "Dude, Ultra's obviously a girl." It's like, "Dude, no, Ultra's a guy." I believe. I believe. You know, hold on. Before I say that, let me double check. Look, I'm like positive Ultra's a guy. I'm like super positive that he's a guy. I could be wrong, but I'm like positive that he is. Oh yeah, it's super lit, but I'm still sick, so yeah, if my voice sounds off, that's why. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. Ultra's a guy. Okay, yeah. Ultra's a male. A male. Okay, so yeah, but I remember in one of those, I think it was God Ultra, to where it said like she referring to, I think referring to Ultra, and it's like, no, dude, Ultra's a guy. This isn't on this thing. Anyways, Degazio was such a cool unit too. His trial was annoying though, but he was a cool looking unit, man. But then, I mean, a lot of the units that came out during like the end of Break Frontier's lifespan. Oh, Slated. Okay, so first form Selena only has an animation, not everybody else. Okay. Oh wait. First of all, I forgot they even had an Instagram. I think I'm gonna go. I don't even use Instagram anymore. What am I talking about? All right, let's see what will be unlocked. Oh. Oh, here's a video animation. I don't remember what monster this was, but that's pretty cool. Oh. All right, Gaius. Okay. I don't think I remember you, but you know. Nope, I know who that is. Yo, that's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. I will not lie to you. I will not lie to you. That's pretty damn cool. Alright, so that was that. Like I always said, thank you, Brave Frontier Recoded, for putting in, especially now, because you guys are putting in a lot of hard work, and like I hope that people who actually care about mobile games and stuff like this can like take these same steps to remake like games that they care about a lot, because this is gonna be cinema when this comes out. Okay, this is gonna be absolutely peak when this comes out, because they're doing a lot to make sure that this is gonna be good. And like I always say, I'm gonna leave their stuff in the description. So definitely, if you care anything about Brave Frontier or rebuilding like stuff from the ground up, definitely check these guys out. They have a Discord server. I think I can post a link in the description. But yeah, I'm just blown away, because man, I'm just blown away by how much stuff has improved. So with all that being said, I'm gonna end the video here. Definitely let me know your thoughts on this, and just Brave Frontier in general, and preserving. I'm just asking for a bunch of stuff now. What are your thoughts about the weather today? Like, what am I doing? Anyways, that's the end of the video. I'll see you guys when I inevitably talk about Chainsaw Man. Goodbye.